What is up, everyone? Happy Saturday to you. I hope you had a wonderful week. I don't talk about politics as much on my channel anymore just because, there are so many PsyOps in this, in the world and this country going on that honestly, you can just kind of pick a struggle anywhere in this nation. But, I think I mentioned in a video before that I like hip hop music. I like the history of hip hop, but I don't like modern hip hop. And I don't like sort of the repetitive projections that we are being force fed from these different artists. It's like none of them are original. They're all kind of coming with like this same technique idea about what they're going to represent. And this is basically what they're pushing. And they're just pushing it real hard, convincing people that, hey, this is hitting charts. Where, there's so many different ways in which you can promote somebody who's not really likable. And it's not until you get to the concert sales that you see kind of what some of these artists are really about. And some of them aren't really selling out concerts. And they can't even get half of a stadium sometimes filled. But off that, we got Doja Cat, who's dropped 2 singles from her, up and coming releasing album. I don't know. But they both have this. She's kind of transformed into this demonic sort of image. A lot of her fans aren't rocking with it. And honestly, she's kind of the example of the sort of conversion of Satanism that you see American society is being pushed into by these various creative outlets like music and entertainment. And I have been saying for years that never has there been a time in which I've looked at, listened to hip hop music where I'm like, dang, there's so much Satanism in it. And we saw it with 3 6 Mafia, people were kind of making they had conversation about that, you know what I mean? But that was sort of like a one-off. And now you see, all of these different artists, they claim that, they believe in God, they constantly thanking God. And I'm constantly like, which God are you talking about? Which God are you talking about? Are you talking about Satan, the God, or the Most High? Because some of these people, they are just, when people talk about it's a conspiracy theory about the industry making these artists do certain things, sell out their soul to level up, it's not hard to believe. And the reason why I say that is because you got artists like Doja Cat. She came out, she was this quirky artist who kind of was finding her way. I think she had some different range that she could play with on a pop side, but she also had this whole rap lyricist thing now too, and I think she's always had it. I think that Doja Cat wanted to sort of be sort of like this Kendrick Lamar kind of female type rapper. And I definitely think she has the talent to pull it off, but she's kind of pulled into this sort of dark side place where a lot of the artists we see go, where the industry wants them to press buttons that they want to press. And I don't think that some of this stuff is necessarily manufactured from the artist. I don't think that, Doja Cat, if she was being able to be her organic self and actually just focus on her music, would she be doing all of these satanic, demonic things where now you're infusing rap, hip hop, and all of these things into this satanic bubble. And you see it all the time in music. Specifically, you'll see it subtly, and then sometimes it will be very overtly. And so with, Doja Cat, the industry's like, we're going to be very overt with pushing Satanism and satanic imagery, riddled with all this fun music that, people have to make a decision. Am I going to support this song? Even if I don't support the video, I know where she went with this video. So for me, the song is already repulsive. I'm not going to pay attention to it. And, I question whether or not real mainstream audiences are really buying into all this Satanism. Or if it's leaving them in contradiction. I think Nicki Minaj definitely pushed out a great song. It was very reminiscent. It was a showcase of her versatility too. And so it was like, I'd rather just listen to Nicki than to listen to a person like Doja Cat sitting up there running around talking about demons. And you see this repetitive phrase in a lot of this drill rap music, the demon. I go on demon time, demon this. These people are worshiping things that they're thinking is innocent. I'm making money, whatever. But it slowly creates a lot of scenarios in their life where it's unfortunate and these people are taunted, right? And one thing that people need to really concede to is no matter how much Satan will give you the world and give you riches, he will also make sure that you are taunted for those things. It reminds me of that one Hellraiser where the guy got all his wishes and then everything turned to crap, literally, And that just tells you that nothing that the devil is going to offer you is going to give you lasting happiness unless you continue to push buttons and continue to sell your soul and do vile, repulsive things to not only yourself, but other people. And mainly the devil uses other humans as a tool to influence. So when you talk about influencers, I don't want to be called an influencer. I'd rather just be called somebody who has common sense that maybe you can listen to, but I am not trying to influence people. And it's so crazy how some of these people can talk about Christians and how you guys try to superimpose your religion and you talk about your religion, but it's like you're influencing Satanism. So you're meaning to tell me that it's right for you to influence Satanism on society, but it's not right for people to talk about Christianity. Same way with the U.S. education system. They are saying it's okay for you to push lifestyles and ideological beliefs on small children and teach them, prime them, condition them to think about the rainbow flag, right? And it being happiness and people loving each other, when really it's a representation of a cult-like lifestyle that is riddled with psychological issues more times than not. And that is to say that I'm not saying that all LGBTQ people are mentally ill, but a bulk of them are. A lot of them are traumatized and probably are not naturally inclined to be that way. They were probably molested into that situation or a number of other factors like neglect and exposure to things very early on in their life. Much of this is nurturing, and there's so much proof about that versus the scientific proof that these people are naturally inclined to be the way that they are. But off of that, I think that, Doja Cat is the perfect example of an industry plant, an industry op, who's really, her mission is to make money glorifying satanic imagery, idealism, and behaviors, right? And so when you think about the lack of disgrace with a lot of these female rappers, what they sing about, what they rap about, there's not a real story that can be told, about these people. And then they're like, okay, well, let's do the sympathy card. Let's do your little sad song so people can start empathizing with you again. And it's like, no, this person is an influencer of bad behaviors onto younger Black females. And they are eyesores to the Black community. And, a lot of these people and these behaviors that they're perpetuating in this mainstream hip hop, these women are really perpetuating behaviors that are cycles of behaviors from the poverty line of Blacks. And they're trying to popularize that for other economic classes of Black so that they can disenfranchise themselves economically. Because ultimately, if you have middle class young ladies buying into this in the Black community and even the upper class ones, obviously those behaviors are going to lead to consequences that are going to cause economic hardship on those girls or mental hardship on those girls in some way. And, a lot of times these girls are going on internet and they're, flexing themselves and stuff. And this stuff is forever. And a lot of times, people, you see these cancel cultists, these people are out here grave digging stuff that people did 12 years ago to try to ruin their reputation. And it's like, first of all, I'm never going to hold somebody accountable for something that they did 10, 12 years ago if it did not gravely impact somebody else. If they were out there being young and they were partying, twerking, whatever, and then they went through that phase and then they grew up, they career professional, and now they have a modest life, it's like nobody has a right to bring up those things. Nobody has a right. And if you're out there digging for things like that, you have things going on in your life that you can't control. So you're going to try to control the outcomes of somebody else and even try to control the present individual that somebody chooses to be by grave digging somewhere that they have been in their life. It's like these people are so disgusting. And it's like I tell people, stand on your past. Don't ever apologize for a moment in time where you were at, because if that's where your beliefs were at that time, you have a right to have had them at that time and to have evolved from them at this present time. And, I think with Doja Cat, is she had some pretty organic beliefs and she had a pretty organic image about herself. And just like the industry typically does, it defiles people. And it's so funny, in her new song, she's saying, we're enemies, you're gross. And it's like, no, Doja, you're gross. You're disgusting. You're the one who has a disgusting demon attached to you. And that demon is actually telling you what the real is. She's like, look, I got money, right? She was like, I'm a demon lord. Okay. That demon is going to get you paid doing all that demonic shit, but it's going to taunt you. And the more that people are going to reject you, right, then that's when the demon is really going to taunt you, because now you're useless. You don't have the influence on people the way that they want you to. So Doja's going to have to keep pressing the button. I don't think that this is the most extreme we're going to see of Doja Cat. She might mess around and end up being like Britney Spears after a while, because she's between the pharmaceuticals that she's eventually going to get on, if she's not already on them, and just some of the crazy backlash that she's going to have to constantly defend herself on with some of the stuff that she's pushing out. That girl is not going to have the best mental health, and the demons will convince her that she's up here, but really she's self-sabotaging. I mean, you can kind of even look at her whole face and her body when you want to talk about demons, people not eating. People look at demon possession and they look at like Exorcism of the Emily Rose, and they look at some of these other sensationalized projection from the media, but people don't realize that demon possession really happens when you're willfully. It's not something to just take over you. That is the illusion. That is the lie. Demon possession happens when you are willfully opening up yourselves to demonic things and demonic energies and demonic people and practices. That's why I tell people, you playing with crystals and all that stuff, what are you channeling? Who are you channeling? Because if I want something from my Lord, I'm going to go to him in prayer and ask him in the name of his son, Jesus Christ, because I acknowledge that Jesus sacrificed his life for us to have that access in prayer. And I'm going to talk to him and I'm going to ask him for strength or guidance, or even just, please help me to correct myself on something. But when you're starting to channel and do all this stuff that people say and affirmations and putting it out there in the universe, who do you think is listening to it? You. Because you're not specifically entreating somebody. So anything can just listen to you and affirm what you think, and they can demonize you with those affirmations. And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of this rhetoric being posed as like sweet and innocent. The demons, the devil, they pose themselves as angels of light. And they will have you involved in ideas and practices and movements that have them clutching onto you. So when you see somebody who's on edge and irrational and they're like, I don't give a F, right? Really, because the demon that is attached to them has them feeling that way, has them reacting that way. And that's why it's so hard these days to interact with everybody, because it's like, sometimes you can immediately understand that people have a demon that is attached to them because of the way that they react and the way that they respond. And they may not understand that this is not just a part of your mental makeup. This is the mental makeup that you are being captive in because you won't get a hold on your weakness, and you've allowed your weakness to be treated by something that means you no good. So, people, you believe in aliens, you better believe in demons, because the demons are trying to tell you that they exist all kinds of ways. They're even using these humans like Doja Cat to tell you that they exist. So you better believe them. So you all have a wonderful weekend. I got to go and do my hair or whatnot. I got a lightened color, but I got to press it and stuff. So I got to do this hair so that I can go take some glamour shots. So you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.